I'm David Swayne. I'm the Chief Information Officer at London South Bank University. I've been here for 18 months. Prior to this, I was the Services Director at Logicalis for 12 months. I was the IT Director for Nottingham Trent University for 5 years, and prior to that I worked in financial services for 5 years. We use Highlight to monitor production systems, and the great thing about Highlight is that we can do that at different levels. So we have the ability to monitor servers and elements of the network and also the latency of transactions, but we can pull those together so that the constituent parts of a business service are grouped and give a representation to the people who are looking at Highlight of the performance of the business service as well as the performance of each of the constituent parts. The tiles that are represented are done on the basis of heat. So if a service is in serious trouble, it's red. Prior to that, it would be amber, and then before that, it would be green. So basically, the hotter the tile looks, the more attention or the more urgent the attention that is required. Highlight was very, very quick to set up. Within hours of providing some basic information through to the software as a service providers, and all we needed to provide really was the IP addresses and a route through to our systems. Within hours we were up and running, and we could see what was happening on the different elements of the service that we were monitoring. The representation is simple and intuitive, and the ability to drill through to where there are issues and to see trends is very interesting. And because we have bought software as a service solution, actually there's very little work for my team to do. We use Highlight to monitor the business services, and that level of information is provided to managers across the university. The individual teams look at the more detailed representation of servers or network elements, and they can see whether there's a problem. So we're monitoring things like memory usage, CPU usage, the bandwidth usage on our network elements, and the latency of transactions. The difference that it makes to the university is that our teams are able to react before an actual outage occurs, so they can see the trend of something. So, for example, if it was a disk on a server that was starting to fill up, they could see the trend and allocate more space before it becomes an issue. And actually we have a threshold that's set at 80%, and if disk usage goes above 80%, then the team is alerted and is able to step in and take an action before any outage or degradation in service performance actually occurs. We've recently placed a contract with some third parties to push our data center servers and storage into the cloud, and Highlight will give us the opportunity and the possibility of monitoring what's happening on those servers in the third party's data center. So it gives us the opportunity to actually monitor and measure that they're doing what it is that they're contracted to do, and to ensure that corrective actions are taken when they're required. I would recommend Highlight. It's very simple to use, it's very easy to get up and running, and benefits are obtained very quickly. Trends and patterns happen. You can see the trends and patterns in a day. You can see them over a week, over a month, and over longer periods. There's also the possibility to draw a line in the sand at the point at which you make a change and compare results to see whether the change you've made is effective. I think it's an excellent tool.